Right, gentlemen. First of all, I think we must, in their absence, thank the Dixie Band. They've apparently gone off to another show at 7 o'clock. Dr. van der Walt, fabulous. So good evening all. Welcome to this magnificent occasion. 210 old boys tonight, I believe. So I think we could all start with a little round of applause for ourselves. My name is Mark Gleeson. I was at Solomon House, 5th team rugby, the Wednesday League cricket, second last in the cross country, but I did get 2 points in the inter-house athletics. I came 5th in the high jump, and we won that year. And my matric year, and this is a true story because it's in the Praetorian, we were distinguished ourselves because we won the Provincial Cup for a second successive year for selling the most Christmas stamps. And now MC at the Old Boys dinner. It's looking better. A big welcome to our guest speaker tonight, Justice Edwin Cameron, Old Boy of 1970, and of course a distinguished jurist, leading figure in our country. Also a big welcome tonight, and I'm going to do this in no particular order of protocol. Gerald Keneally's the chairman of the governing body. Welcome to you. John Ilsey, our second master. Bill Schroeder, our ex-headmaster. Tony Reeler, the headmaster. Thomas Rundle, who's the chairman of the Old Boys Association. Tony Wilkes, president of the Old Boys Association. 1946. Can anyone beat 1946? "71 years with the school." Kyle Schmulo, who's the honorary secretary of the Old Boys, and Marius van Staten, who is the chairman of the Praetorian Trust. Also, John Smith, World Cup winning Bok captain, head boy in 1996. I believe John's still on his way, which leads me to think he might be joining the Bulls with the rather slow progress towards this venue this evening. But we do look forward to hearing from him as well. And of course, Tony, it's been a rather busy time for you, particularly over the last couple of days. Just a week ago here, I presume down in the dining hall, the class of 1957 had their 60-year reunion. It was a tremendous evening. We had a couple of the guys on Tuesday night from that reunion back in Cape Town, where I'm from, at our annual dinner. Some 70 old boys there, all gathering for fellowship and just spending a wonderful evening together. And then, of course, I think you had PE a week or so ago before that. And tonight, this magnificent gathering here in this, it's my first time to see this hall, absolutely magnificent. Chance, of course, to reconnect, to remember, to rekindle old friendships, and just share in our mutual affection for this wonderful institution. And these days, I presume that boys from Boys High, old boys from Boys High, come from such disparate backgrounds, and the common glue, the adhesive that holds us together, is this magnificent institution, Pretoria Boys High. In my day, the boarders came from Zanin, and they came from Nelspruit, and there was a little batch from Cullinan, and if ever there was evidence needed of a different solar system, those boys from Cullinan always provided it. The day boys were from Arcadia Primary, from Brooklyn Primary, from Waterkloof, from Sunnyside. There was the odd one or two from Irene, and Littleton Primary, which was my primary school. We lived in Clubby, which was just outside the zone, and hence went off to the boarding school. Lovely dormitory suburb in those days with lots of young families. And on a night like this, it was essential to just take a little drive through the old neighborhood and indulge in a little nostalgia, which I'm sure we're all doing at various junctures this evening. Looking at the open felt that we had in those days on the southern side of the old Joburg Road. There were no houses. We used to play there. The roads, of course, we could freely cycle around. And we had lots of little quirks which you no longer get in this modern age. And the one I remember most fondly is the milkman. And looking at the makeup of tonight's audience, I feel maybe I should explain a little bit what the milkman was. He delivered the milk, and the milk came in the morning. The milk did not come in the plastic jugs that you get in your convenience store or the cartons that we used to get them, but they used to be in solid glass bottles, and my mother would put the milk out in the morning, and used to have a little plastic token, little blue plastic token, and depending on how much milk you wanted, you left the tokens in the bottle, and if you had forgotten to get the tokens, you could just leave a little note for the milkman. And we had a quirky blonde next door who had been reading a lot of Huisgenoot, and it had explained to her in some depth that milk baths were the answer to keeping young, to keeping beautiful, and just keeping her good looks, which were beginning to fade. And so she left a note in the milk bottle asking for 25 gallons. And the milkman came around and he picked it up and he had a look at it and he said, I'm sure she's made a mistake. 25 gallons. She probably means 2.5 gallons, but let me check. And being the conscientious provider that he was, he knocked on the door and she opened up and she said, I just want to check with you, ma'am. Sorry for disturbing you, but I see you've asked for 25 gallons of milk. Are you sure you don't mean 2.5 gallons? And she said, no, I want 25 gallons. I've been reading the Huisgenoot. I'm going to fill my bathtub up with milk, and I'm going to lie in it so that I'm going to look young and beautiful again. And he said to her, well, in that case, do you want it unpasteurized or pasteurized? And she said, no, just up to my tits. I think I'll just splash on my eyes when I get there.